Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So this video will be my TBR for two readathons happening in April because when I filmed my April TBR, there wasn't prompts for these readathons haven't yet been announced, so that's why there's no prompt. That's why they're not mentioned there. But in the meantime, prompts have been announced, so I'll be talking about which books I'll be reading for which prompts. So this is my TBR for Realm-a-thon and Mythothon TBR. And Mythothon, readathon, and I'll link all the information down below because if I try to explain it, it will be all over the place. So for Realm-a-thon, I joined one of the 4 factions of the world, and for this, basically you have prompts to help your team achieve, so you get points and you have also prompts that take down the points of the other teams. So let's start for which books. I repurposed my April TBR for these 2 readathons, just to be clear. So I'll go first the prompts for Realm-a-thon. So first prompt I'm doing is claim your territory, and you have to read a book that has a map, and for that I'll be rereading A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is 3rd book in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, in which we are following Feyre, who one day while hunting for her family accidentally kills a Fey wolf, whose boy then comes and takes her to his court. And this has the map of the world inside it. Then we have making an alliance to read a book, and you have to read a book with romance. For that I'll be reading Trail Online by Zoe Sack. In this one we're following a blogger named Penny, who one day after one embarrassing incident in school goes with her parents to New York to the wedding they planning, where she meets Noah, and it's their romance. Then we have Grow Crops, a book that has green on cover. I chose Witch Bane by Lisa Casey. Cover is mostly blue, but here in this corner there's I know how well you can see it on camera. There's a bush and also leaves here that are green. This book is 3rd book in Kitsune Chronicles, where we are following Sebastian, who is a kitsune, which is Japanese 9-tailed fork spirit with elemental magic. And something happened to him a year ago, and since then he's been on the run. Until the beginning of the 1st book, when he bumps into Liam, an alpha werewolf who saved him a year ago. Then we have Build a School, and you have to read a YA or middle grade book. For that I'll be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, which is a novella in A Court of Thorns and Roses series. And then then the prompt is increase your population. Read a book with parent-child relationship or mentor-mentee. I chose for this War Storm by Victoria Aveyard, which is 4th book in Red Queen series, and which are following Maya Barrow, who is a red. And in this world, the reds are normal people who don't have powers, and silvers are people who have powers. And one day, while Mara is doing her job. She finds out she has powers, and that gets her into this political plot line with the Silvers. And I think if this doesn't have her parents in it, because her parents like come and go depending on Mara's circumstances. At that point, I know it has a mentor-mentee relationship between few people. So we have mentor, their mentee, who is mentor of their own mentee. So it's like, what the hell? And it's like everything is basically mushed together. I really enjoyed this series. Even though the ending of the first one, even now, what, 5 years later, still infuriates me to no end. Then we have a supply run, and you have to read a book with an author from a country other than your own. And I'll be reading Thief by Alexa Riley. I think, I know for sure that Alexa Riley isn't from Croatia. So in this one we're following Sean, who is a thief, and he's tasked to rob this bank. And while he's surveilling the bank, he sees Tessa, who is a clerk, and falls in love with her. And it's their romance in the end. This is also reread for me. And then we have build the castle, and you have to read a chunky book. For that I'll be rereading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It's chunky. Then we have rest break, and you have to read a book in one sitting. For that I chose The Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky, which is a novella in the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtues series. I'm not sure. I think it's a Montague sibling series, that's official title, but I'm not sure. This is a novella in which we are following characters from the first one, Monty and Percy, and in the first book we're following two of them as they're just about to embark on their grand tour with Monty's younger sister, who they have to get to her finishing school, and it's Monty and Percy's romance. Then we have discover a powerful artifact, and you have to read a science fiction book. For that I'll be rereading Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. In this first book in sci-fi series, which are following a group of teens who are all somehow connected to the space colony Kerenza 4. It's Kerenza 4. I think it is. In this first one we're following Caddy and Ezra, who actually managed to evacuate from the planet in time, and we're following them as they're trying to get to the space station with their rescue ship before the ships actually have to, before one of them basically dies. Not literally, but it's so damaged that they're moving really slowly, and the people who destroyed their colony are getting closer and closer to them. Then we have prompt Overthrow the King, in which you have to read an indie or self-published book. why did I have to everything? I decided to double up on this prompt and read Richmond for this also. Then we have a magical warfare that you had to read a book that has magical warfare or weapons. I also doubled up on this one and decided that I'll be reading War Storm for this also. Then we have Seek Magical Aid. You have to read the book set in or out from where you live. For this I'll be reading Gorski Dnevnik Paulina P by Sanja Polak. This book is both set in Croatia and daughter is Croatian. This one we're following Paulina P as she goes to a school trip with her school. Then we have a cut of their magic. You have to read a book that has isolated setting. I also doubled up for this one and I'll be reading Illumine. It is isolated as everything is happening on these two spaceships. So, and the last prompt that I'll be doing for sure is War Veteran, for which you have to read TBR Veteran. I tripled up on this one to read War Storm for this. Now we'll go on to the Mythothon TBR. I know the first part of this video has been a little bit excessive, as I already have been filming for over 10 minutes and I'm not done. So I joined the team set for Mythothon. So the first prompt is Chaos, to read the book chosen at random, and for that I'll be reading Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I randomly decided which one I'll be reading for this. So then we have Neftis, read a light book. For that I'll be reading Curl Online. Then we have Banquet, read a book with food on the cover. For this one I'll just probably read an ebook or something, because at the moment I don't have any books with me that have food on the cover. Then we have Perfect Fit. Read a book with a title that starts with your initial. You know how hard it is to find the title. Ooh, turns out I do have a book that starts with my initial. I just haven't thought of it. I'll be back in a sec. Royal Assassin, Croatian title Kraljevski ubojica. This is by Robin Hood. Does start with my initial K. Yeah, no, this is a chunky one. So this really excessive TBR already will be a little bit more daunting because of this. This is the second book in the Farsia trilogy, in which we are following a boy named Fitz, who at the age of 6 has been left by his maternal grandfather on the doorstep of the keep for his father to raise him. But when his father hears that his bastard son is coming, and his father is crowned prince, he abdicates the throne and goes to live in the countryside in shame. So Fitz is left in a really awkward position where he is mostly raised by the stable master Bork.
Yeah.
Until a certain age when King decides he would be a great royal assassin and Fitz begins his training. And then the last prompt that I'm reading is 14. Read a book with a number in the title. So for that I chose A Court of Tones of Frost and Starlight. A is exchange for 1, so somehow since I'm bending the rules with little bits, but who cares? And I have been doing that for years, so nobody cares. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.